Hi there, Vladimir here, with another video about how to learn English. The key to mastering a skill is repetition. Repetition is the mother of all learning. It takes time. You need to understand that. There are no magic tricks, magic hacks. It takes repetition. It takes time, even for the super gifted. And especially when we talk about learning a foreign language, the most complex of skills. Repetition is key. For you to remember a new word, you need to see it and hear it again and again and again, and then some more and more and more. Input before output. Output is writing and speaking. Input is reading and listening. Input before output. Now, the big question is, which is more important, reading or listening? Important is not the right word. Which is the more efficient one? Which gives you more input? Which gives you more repetition? 1 hour of reading or 1 hour of listening? Reading or listening? Which is more efficient? Let's find out together. It is what I am going to help you do today. Help you find the answer to the reading versus listening question within yourself. Here is what you need to do. 2 things. First, get a timer of some sort ready. Pause this video and get a timer in your hand. It is important that you do that. The second thing you need is a dictionary. An online one or a hard copy one. It doesn't matter. Bilingual or monolingual. It doesn't matter. The one you usually use when studying English. A timer and your favorite dictionary. Have them in your hands. Okay, so what you're gonna do next is, first, you will see a text on the screen, a single paragraph from an article. Read it. The important thing is to time yourself. Start the timer the moment you start reading. The text, the paragraph will be on your screen for 25 seconds, but feel free to pause it. Read slowly and carefully and make sure you understand everything you read. Don't just guess. Use a dictionary if necessary. Google if you want to. It doesn't matter. The important thing is to understand everything you read and to see how long it takes you to understand it. What follows after the text is an audio file, completely different yet thematically similar. The text and audio are different yet on a similar subject. Both the text and the audio are of equal word count, 62 words each. Word and grammar difficulty are quite similar too. Now is a good time to say that both the text and the audio are by Japan's richest man, Mr. Tadashi Yanai, the president of Uniqlo, one of the biggest clothing companies in the world. The video clip is about 25 seconds long. However, feel free to stop and rewind and listen to it as many times as you need in order to understand every single word you hear. Just make sure you turn off the subtitles. Use a dictionary and the internet if necessary. And of course, make sure you time yourself. Ready? Text first. video second.
We are a Japanese company and we have to leverage a Japanese company's strengths. When I first went to the UK to open the store, we employed UK management and tried to build a UK company. Back in those days, the senior management and the store staff didn't talk to each other. They didn't share information. They didn't think they were equals.
How was it? How long did it take you to understand the text? And how long to understand the video? Which was faster? Your reading or your listening? How much faster? Let us know in the comments below. Of course your reading was faster. No doubt about that. Reading is always faster than listening. It's the same in our native language. Reading gives you more exposure to the language than listening. It is much easier to figure out new words, notice grammar, and everything else. It's much faster to reread than to replay. With listening, you need to pause, rewind, play again. It takes much longer to figure things out. Reading is more efficient. The argument for listening being more important is based on the fact that babies start with listening. Yes, babies do start with listening, no question about that. But I don't know if you've noticed, you and I are not babies. We are adults. Babies spend at least 4 years of intensive listening before they start speaking in full sentences. Children are full-time language learners. That's their main job. And let's not forget that they have at least one, sometimes as many as 3-4 full-time private teachers. You know what I mean, parents, grandparents, and so on and so forth. All children do is eat, play, sleep, and learn their native language. At least 8 hours a day, 365 days a year, for about 4-5 years, which works out to at least 12,000 hours of intensive listening. 12,000 hours. Do you have 12,000 hours at your disposal? Mind you, babies don't listen to CDs or videos. They listen to real people. Very different. Reading is our main advantage over children. Reading and dictionaries. Now, let me make something perfectly clear. It is not an either-or choice. Reading or listening. No, of course not. Both are super important. The purpose of this video is to help you set your priorities straight. It is about finding the right balance between reading and listening. People spend way too much time on listening. Passive listening. Passively watching videos. For most people, the reading to listening ratio is 1:9. I think the right ratio should be at least 2:1. 3:1 is even better. For every 30 minutes of listening, at least 1 hour of reading. At least. The confusion and general aversion people have to reading is that when language learners hear reading, they think about textbooks, boring textbooks, reading boring vocabulary and grammar textbooks, TOEFL and TOEIC training books. No, people, no.
Toto?
We are not in the 20th century
I have a
anymore.
feeling we're not in
This
Kansas
is the
anymore.
21st century. The internet, guys, the internet. Find something interesting and read daily. Interesting is not the right word. There is too much focus on fun. I'm guilty of that myself. Informative is a better word. It is much better to find something informative and useful for your job or school. Something you need for your job rather than for your hobby. Books and articles about your job, about your school major. Find something informative and read daily. Read and listen to informative content. That's right, not useless videos. Listen to something informative. But reading is more efficient in terms of input. Read. And I suggest you start with my book, Virtually Native, which will teach you how to read, how to listen, how to use dictionaries, how to study by yourself. My book is available on Amazon and virtuallynative.com.